So Baka, you know how I'm basically OCD when it comes to researching shit. When I find something interesting and I don't stop until I know every tiny detail about the subject in question.
What is it this time, Timmy? Did you find out Robin Williams' last words? Find out where Hood Boy Tails lives? Did you find the exact size of Uncle Remus's penis hole?
No, ever since I got back from Disney with my mom and little brother, I've been researching the ever-loving fuck out of Splash Mountain and Song of the South. For instance, did you know the guy who played Uncle Remus was actually good friends with Walt Disney?
No shit. Do tell.
Okay, get this. The guy who played Uncle Remus was actually good friends with Walt Disney. Also, the actors were treated better than people would think. People make a big deal about the movie being racist, but some of the actors mentioned that they were treated like kings during production. Kings that probably wore big goofy crowns and clock necklaces and said, "Yeah boy, you really loud." But there's one thing that really chaps my ass about the whole racist thing. There was a sequel/remake thing made in 2006. It had McKinnon, Wayne Brady and some more famous black actors. And it was pretty faithful to the old stories, and in some respects even more accurate than the original movie. One of the things people bitch the most about in the movie and the books that were written a long-ass time ago is the Tar Baby story. I guess from a certain point of view I can see the point, but the Tar Baby story is in The Adventures of Brer Rabbit. That's the name of the remake. Literally the only real difference between Song of the South and Adventures of Brer Rabbit is that Brer Rabbit doesn't take place on a slave plantation.
Let me just get my face spam on for the incoming story of SJW bullshit I hear just about every day.
Looking at the scenario through SJW goggles, I guess you could argue that depicting slaves in any way could be considered racist. I don't see it that way. That's just the way I see it going through their twisted little fake progressive noggins. But these tales were written nearly 200 years ago, by slaves. So you can't have a movie like that with characters that were written like that without depicting slaves in some way. And The Adventures of Brer Rabbit washes away some of the original points the stories were trying to make. The whole point of Song of the South was how stories being passed from generation to generation keeps them alive for children to pass down to their own children when they have kids. The Adventures of Brer Rabbit's main points are just don't be an asshole, and be careful how you treat people or else you'll end up alone, which are good morals, but they don't have the same impact as the original movie.
You mentioned SJW fucktods earlier, so I imagine there's some kind of point you're trying to make about hypocrisy or double standards.
My point is, I don't see how something can be deemed so unbelievably racist and offensive when one person does it, and then someone else does it and it completely flies under the radar with no problems. Why is it that when a white person writes a story with racial themes, no matter how major or minor, they get burned at the stake, but if a black person makes almost the exact same stories, it's totally fine?
The answer is simple, Timmy, my cerebrally calcified home slice. Progressivism. Somehow we are moving forward when we can watch racist crap made by black people and somehow be okay with it.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting delirious because there's no waitress here. No one has brought out our food. We've been sitting here for over an hour.